All right, we're live. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sheen. What's up, everybody? Got a few people in here. Decided just gonna hop on, do a live stream instead of just recording my video by myself. I like to do these live streams. Kind of also cuts down on my editing. So just want to do a live stream, go over what's going on with some stock, some companies. In particular, Green Power Motors is probably going to be the main event today. I'm going to talk about Green Power Motors. So Green Power Motors has been taking a beating like nobody's business. It was down 3%, nearly 7%, 4% today. It was down like 15% yesterday. Now it's an $11 stock. So market cap on this is $204 million. So very, very small market cap company. So small market cap companies like this is easily manipulated. Any bad news, any slight sniff of anything bad, the stock can come crashing down. So very, very easily manipulated stock. So keep that in mind. That's number one. Only a $204 million market cap company. I believe I don't have it on my presentation right now, but I think the float is something like 11 million shares. So very small float, very small market cap company. So anything like this is easily manipulated. Anything bad is gonna cause the stock to do this, and that's exactly what has been happening. So back in early September, late August, that's when the whole merger came. Not the merger, sorry, the IPO listed on the NASDAQ. It listed about $21, and ever since then, it has been taking a poop down to $11 today. So what I've been doing, I've been buying plenty of shares of Green Power Motors, basically all through the beginning of the month. If I knew that it was going to take such a huge poop like this, I would have waited until today to buy some more shares. But you can see I've been buying continuously throughout the month. Like I said, now that I have more than what do I have in here? $2,200 in here. I am kind of reaching that limit where I'm not sure if I want to put more in, just because it still is a speculative stock. It is a small cap market cap company. And it's a small manipulative, easy to manipulate stock. So I'm at a point where I'm not sure if I want to put more in, even though it is at like $10, $11, which I think is a complete bargain. But I'm in a predicament right now where my cost basis is decently low. It's $14.67, which is a decent low cost basis, I think, for this stock. But I have already $2,200 in this. I might put a little bit more, but I'm really at that threshold where even if it goes lower, I'm not very comfortable putting more. That's just my personal position. Down 24% on this one currently. Overall, down $552. So if you guys don't know, I'm sure some of you probably do know, that there was this Mariner Research put out a short report, Green Power Motors subsidy-driven revenues at risk. So we're going to talk about basically the biggest problem that this Mariner Research short seller had was the subsidies that this company gets. And if that's the biggest problem, to me, that's not a deal breaker for me. So we're going to talk about it. 89 shares. I think it'll go up by next year. Okay, cool. So let's talk more about this Green Power Motors and this subsidies. So basically, Green Power Motors, they're only registered in California to be a automotive, vehicle manufacturer and dealer. So they really only sell in one state. So they're saying that they're essentially a one-state wonder, and there is some logic to that. Yeah, we do want them to spread out to more states, but you got to understand there's a reason why they're only selling in California. Here's the reason why they're selling in California. California is by far and away the largest market for EV vehicles. Right? So as an investor, you would be, if they weren't selling in California as their biggest state, you would be yelling at them, why aren't you selling in California? And the thing is, it's not like they're selling everything. It's not like they're meeting all demands and meeting all their orders. They're selling in California, and they can't fulfill all the orders currently. So it's not like they've already saturated the market in California. So they're selling California for a reason, right? This is the biggest market. It is the biggest economy in the United States. So it just makes sense to be selling in California, right? So, that's not a huge deal for me. Obviously, in the future, any company in the right mind would spread out and move into other markets. But the market in California is just so big. There's no reason for them to move out of California as of yet. So I don't have a huge problem currently, for the short term, that they're only selling in California. All right, so this short seller is saying that they're supported by significantly one government program, and then they estimate 74% of Green Power's total revenue in the calendar years 2019 and 2020 is from this program. And so basically, it's the California HVIB, hybrid zero emission truck and bus voucher incentive program. So that is where they get most of their revenue. So again, like I said, California, biggest market. That's why they're selling in California. But California is also the most progressive state in the whole union. They just passed. They're just talking about passing this. I don't know if it's officially passed yet, but the governor is basically planning to ban sales of any any gasoline vehicles in 15 years. By 2035, there will be zero sales of gasoline vehicles. So again, California, the most progressive state when it comes to EV vehicles. So it just makes sense that they're selling in California. I don't have a problem with them selling in California for now. I do want them to spread out to more and more states. But for now, you keep in mind, Green Power Motors has only been starting to make revenues since 2017. 2017 or 2018. So they've been in business. They were established in 2010, but they didn't really start getting orders and delivering orders until 2017. So it's not like they've been in only California for the longest time, right? They're still trying to meet demand just in California. So the short seller also talks about the CEO with shady ties to toxic financing of different companies, blah blah blah. I'm not too concerned about this. If you dig deep enough into anybody's history, it could be questionable things that they've done in other companies. But we're talking about Green Power Motors. We're talking about this company, so I'm not too concerned about any of this other things that the short seller has been talking about. What I really just want to more talk about is the subsidies that they're targeting. So we believe that Green Power revenue growth is likely to be significantly hampered due to shrinking California subsidies program. This compounded with the governance risk outlined above leads us to assign a $2 price target to Green Power stock, which is down 85% from the last close. 86% down from the last close. I think that's a little dramatic. They're thinking that this stock should be a $2 stock. I think that's just a little bit dramatic. So I don't agree with that at all. So they're saying Green Power Motors, they actually have revenues, unlike Nikola. So they took effort to take a jab at Nikola right there. So that was pretty funny. So like I said, the problem is that the subsidy program accounted for roughly 74% of their revenues. Also, the subsidy program is expected to be shrinking. They believe that this dynamic has already started to affect Green Power's revenues, which are down 41% compared to the same period last year. And so I don't know where they get that number, because they're saying Green Power's revenue is down 41% compared to the same period of the prior year. I looked into Green Power's finances, and their revenue has not been down. So maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know what they're talking about. But like I said, 2018 was the first year that they really was starting to make deliveries and really have any revenues. 2018 fiscal year 2018, their fiscal year ends in March 30, end of March. So their fiscal year 2018, they had 3.5 million. 2019 nearly doubled that at 6 million. 2018 they went to 3.5 million. 2019 6 million, and 2020 fiscal year 2020, which ended in March. So keep in mind their fiscal year ends in March. So fiscal year 2020 ending in March was 13.5 million. So I don't know where we're getting this down 41%. So maybe I'm mistaken, or maybe I'm reading that wrong. But looking at their finances, they've been growing like nearly double from 2019 to 2020, right? 6 million to more than double, up to 13.5 million as far as their revenue goes. So I'm a little confused about where they got that 41%. So they're saying they believe the Green Power Motors has prioritized G&A over R&D, research and development. So they're saying that they spent roughly $2 million on research and development in the last 5 years, and only spent and then they spent $8 million on administrative fees, and that's why they don't have any patents or they don't have any licenses. So let me see. I looked up that that information that is pretty accurate what that short seller is saying. So administrative fees for the last 3 years, 2018, 2020 was about $7 million. And then product and development cost was only $1.7 million. So, I mean, I don't, okay, so they don't have any of their own patents, and I believe that is true. I didn't see that they have their own patents, but they have been working a lot to get Altoona certification and another certification. I forgot off the top of my head, but basically with these certifications, they are able to. It's like the Sell to America certification or something like that. Because they are a foreign company, they are a Canadian company, so they have to meet some certain requirements in order to sell in the United States. So they do meet that, and they also have certifications that allow them to take advantage of government funds. They don't have patents per se, but they do have these certifications, if you will, and so they do have that, and that does set them apart, because you can't just start up a company and just start selling EV vehicles to like state governments, local governments. You can't sell buses to school districts, because that's all government, and you have to have certain testing and blah 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 and all this stuff, and that takes anywhere from 1 to 2 years for you to get those certifications to sell to state and local governments. So it's not like anybody could just start an EV company and say, hey, we're making the school bus, we're going to sell to this school district, we're going to sell to this city these transportation buses. No, it doesn't work that way. I mean, if you sell a vehicle just to the public, yeah, you can sell a vehicle to the public as long as it meets like safety guidelines and stuff. But in order to sell to government, is what a lot of what they do with their school buses, with their city buses. That takes a lot of time. So not anybody could just do that. So that's one thing that they do have. Yeah, Buy America. Thank you, Angela K. Buy America compliant. Buy America compliant. Right, exactly. So that takes time to get that certification. So no, like the short seller is saying, no, they don't have any patents per se. No, they don't have any patents or licenses per se, but they do have, Buy America compliant and Altoona certification. So the short seller is saying that this basically the revenues are drying up. The California CARB vouchers are drying up. There's going to be less and less, and subsidies are less and less. And I don't deny that. I know that is true. Subsidies are going down. And why are subsidies going down? Because more and more people are buying electric vehicles. If more and more people are buying electric vehicles, then subsidies are going to go down, because you don't need subsidies. So it's not going to go away, but eventually they're going to be faded out. It's the same thing that happened with Tesla. When Tesla first sold vehicles, they relied a lot on subsidies, because no one was going to buy a however much it was at the beginning, $120,000 for their Model S or whatever it was at the time. They relied a lot on subsidies. The federal and state government gave subsidies. If you wanted to buy a clean vehicle, they would give you subsidies in order to buy. So, and then now that Tesla is doing fantastic and they don't need the subsidies, they're not eligible for the subsidies anymore. So that's going to happen with every single company out there. Even DPHC, Lordstown Motors, even Fisker, all their cars are eligible for $7,500 subsidy from the federal government. And once you sell a certain threshold of the vehicles, then you are no longer eligible for those subsidies. Same thing with Green Power Motors. They are eligible for subsidies, but when they sell to a certain point, they are no longer eligible for as many subsidies, and these subsidies will eventually go away, because the subsidies are only there to help adoption of EV vehicles. Once that has, it's kind of like a training wheel. Once people have made the decision that, hey, we don't want to buy gas vehicles, we don't want to pay for gas, we don't want to pay for oil, we don't want to pay for transmission flushes, all the stuff that you have to do, oil filters, all the kind of stuff you have to do with all the maintenance. We don't want to do that anymore. We see that we could transition to an EV vehicle, and yeah, it might be a few $1,000s, maybe up to $10,000 more for a vehicle, an electric vehicle, but over the lifetime of the vehicle, you're going to save a lot of money because you don't have to pay for all the maintenance costs. So once people start seeing that, the subsidies are going to be less and less and less. So yeah, the short seller is correct that the subsidies are going down. So, but hey, there's going to be a transition where the company, Green Power Motors, whatever it is, Workhorse, DPHC, Lordstown Motors, any of them, there's going to be a point where they're going to have to take off the training wheels of the subsidies and rely on people wanting to take take a EV vehicle over a gasoline vehicle because of the benefits of a EV vehicle. So yes, subsidies are going down, but they're not going away. September 29th, there's going to be a webinar or teleconference with the California board, and then people can join, and they're going to discuss about the funding for transportation incentives. So it's a government thing. Every single year, they're going to have to re-talk about it. Every single year, they're going to have to say, oh, this is how much we're going to fund it. So it happens every year. So subsidies are going to be lower. Okay, fine, they're going to be lower. But hey, the adoption of EV vehicles are higher and higher every year. So Short Seller talks about the subsidies were basically stopped November 1st of 2019. So I mean, it wasn't really stopped. It was just that the funding for that particular year for 2020 was basically all used up, and so no new vouchers or requests will be accepted until HVIP reopens. When fiscal year 2020-2021 funding is available, which is anticipated to be early 2021. So it's not like the subsidies are frozen or going away or anything like that. It's just that it's the government. The government has they come to an agreement how much money is they're going to have for this program. It was all used up, so then they have to wait until the next year before they have an agreement about how much money there's going to be for the next year. So when that happens, people like Workhorse, everybody, we're like Workhorse, Green Power Motors, they're all going to apply for these subsidies. So to me, it's not a huge deal. It's not like people didn't know that Green Power Motors used a lot of these subsidies. In fact, Green Power Motors, this is in their SEC filings. So the reduction or elimination of government or economic incentives, funding approval, or the delay in the timing of advancing fundings that has been approved, in particular in the state of California, could have a material adverse effect on our business, financial condition, operation results, and prospects. Our vehicles are eligible for vouchers from specific government programs, including the hybrid zero-emission truck and bus voucher from California CARB, in partnership with CalSTART and the specialty used vehicle program in British Columbia. So blah blah blah. I already talked about this. The vouchers was 142 million for the HVIB that was for the previous year that was all used up, and so that's what it is. That's the biggest thing from this Short Seller report that they're really targeting. All right, smash that thumbs up button like William Davis. Thank you very much. Have an awesome weekend. Have an awesome Friday. Again, I hope the markets are good tomorrow. Smash thumbs up button on the way out. Catch you in the next one. Have an awesome weekend. Peace.